Hello, beautiful human. Welcome to your Taurus Cross Watchers Only reading. I'm Marlo if you're new. If you're family, welcome back, my friend. If you're not familiar with what Cross Watchers Only is, or Cross Watchers Only is, I think, if you're unfamiliar, because I think that's right. If you don't know what it is, okay, it's a reading I used to do on my channel many moons ago, years ago, literally, and a lot of people have been asking for them and saying they missed them, and I totally felt like doing them. So here they are. And just a little tidbit about how it is that I do these. The purpose of these is you can watch them as any sign, but it's pretty much for you to watch it for the particular sign that I'm speaking about. So can you be a Taurus that is dating another Taurus? Yes, you could. And you can watch this. You know what I'm saying? But mostly it's like it's not for Taurus people. It's for people who are trying to cross-watch a Taurus person to get insight into you guys fraternizing with each other and whatnot or whatever. But of course, these are on YouTube and they're general. So, you know, people be talking about the whole flippy floppy thing, whatever. But my intention is the first row of cards is the cross-watcher. The second row is Taurus or whatever sign I'm reading for. So get in where you fit in. Moving right along. So first card out. Interesting. This has been in everybody's reading, seems like. We have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, and this is your energy cross watcher. And then we have the Empress. Interesting. And that is Taurus as well as Libra energy, Venetian vibes. Oh, that came out in the reading before you guys. And then we have the Knight of Chalices. So here is the dealio. Man, these readings are like bleeding into each other. So what it is looking like, cross watcher, you in reference to your person, you are seated in your good energy, right? Like you feel like you're that chick or that dude, right? So your whole thing is you know your value, you know your worth, you feel me? And you don't really feel like you have to bend or to chase anyone. And I feel that's more or less the vibes that you were getting about your Taurus person. I feel like you felt that they were very self-centered, very much focused on money, very much worried about status, worried about their image, what they look like, what other people thought about them and things of the sort. And it's almost like the vibes that they gave off to you was just like, you know, peasants. You know, you're beneath me. All of you, beneath me, peasants. You feel what I'm saying? And it's almost like you had to fight to get attention from this person. But I also feel like you guys kind of went along with it for some time and kind of got lost in it with them to where, because I don't know, it's weird. It's like the energy I'm picking up on is it's just kind of like being in this person's energy field. Because I don't doubt for a second that you weren't seated in Empress energy. I mean, you might be a Libra. You know what I'm saying? You might be a Taurus too. Like I said, I don't know. But I feel like prior to you meeting this person, you were seated in your Empress energy. Like you were fully empowered. You felt like you were that person. You were on your square. You know, you were abundant, fruitful, all the things. Like, you know, you're living your best life. But it's something about coming into this person's energy field where you started to feel kind of like second fiddle, if I could say it that way. Like you started feeling like a peasant. You know what I'm saying? Like literally. And it's not anything they said or anything that they did. And that happens a lot of times energetically with people. It's like our vibrational frequency when we're alone by ourselves is one thing, right? But whenever we come into the energy of another person, we can either become dominating subconsciously or we can become submissive subconsciously. But I feel in particular, you guys kind of, you know, became like submissive for lack of better terms. And whenever I use submissive, I'm not talking about submissive in the sense of like monogamous relationships and like, you know, the whole dynamic of, you know, no, I'm not talking about that. But I'm meaning in the sense like maybe a proper word would be subjugating. It's like almost like you subjugated yourself to this person of almost like unknowingly feeling like you're not on their level or something along those lines. But I feel like you kind of reached a fever pitch with that. And it's almost like an aha moment where it's like, wait a minute. Does this mofo know who I am? Like, I am the Empress. Like, wait a damn minute. What am I doing? Right. So I feel like you kind of retracted and pulled back and were like, I don't have time for this. Like, this is not what I signed up for. This is not my stilo. This is not anything that I want to fraternize with, right? However, where you're going to now, you're more or less focused on yourself. It's like your own self-care, your own self-nurturing, you know, focusing on loving yourself, because I feel that's something, and this is similar to like what I told the cross watcher for Gemini, but it's almost like you got lost in the sauce of yourself, like neglecting yourself in the process almost. So it's like you were so fixated on this person and their needs, and this is just my assumption, it doesn't really feel like they were reciprocating, because like I said, the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse to me is like a very self-centered person. So they're not ever really thinking about like how their decisions affect other people, or they're not really empathetic of how other people really feel. It's just like they have an end goal and any means necessary, like the end justifies the means type of deal. And it's like, and then there's you, like you're just there. You know what I'm saying? And it feels almost like, I don't know, like being like a servant to the person almost. It's just like catering to them. But for every single sign that I've done thus far, I'm seeing a consistent theme of this lack of reciprocity and this servitude type of thing going on. But whatever the case, I feel like all the energy that you guys are pouring into them, now you're in a place where you're pouring back in to yourself. But just a heads up, there is the potential with this this Knight of Chalices that they may try to come back and make an offer to you. So just throwing that out there. Now, going into the Taurus person's chords. Oh, child. First card we have is the Seven of Pentacles. For me, in this deck, the Seven of Pentacles is one of a couple of cards in this deck for me that's like a karmic-y kind of vibe card. You know what I'm saying? The next card that they have is the Hanged Man. Interesting. And then the next chord, oh wow, is the Magician. Child, look, let me tell you something. I'm gonna be real. But I mean, it's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So more or less, this Taurus person that you're cross-watching for, they're waiting for your return. I'm just being real, because their whole perspective is like, you know, they'll be back. They'll be back. Can't leave me. Like, I'm a Taurus. Like, what? Like, who? Where? No. And I feel, in a sense, part of them kind of know that you guys have some type of karmic-y kind of tie going on. You know what I'm saying? And then, I don't know. I'm picking up on so much stuff. Like, my guy's really not playing today. I'm just like, I did not expect to get all of this tea coming back up in here. But here we go. So here's the thing. The pompous side of this Taurus person is they feel like they know you, right? Like they feel like they know you like really well. You know what I'm saying? That's why like it's that whole vibe of like, oh, they'll be back, you know? And the specific thing my guides are telling me that they're thinking is because you've invested so much up to this point, right? So they feel like, oh, you know, we done been together 7 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been living together 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, whatever the case, y'all been together a year or 6 months or whatever the time frame has been, or whatever it is that you've done for this person. Like, I mean, if you've done things for them that you've never done with other people, it's like their perspective is more or less like you're too invested in them up to this point for you to walk away. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel that that's more or less the, what's the word I can use for this? Like the false sense of security that they've had up to this point. It's like they've almost relied on a false sense of security of thinking that because you were invested, because I mean, that's normal kind of human psychology. It's like typically with all humans, like, well, I mean, not typically, that's just the thing of all humans. Like that's what the whole concept of like FOMO is, right? Or clickbait, right? The whole thing is that someone introduces something to you, or you get invested in something, or you start watching something, whatever, you want to know the ending. You know, that's why like the worst feeling in the world, like that's why Manifest is on Netflix now, because it's like, oh my gosh, like it can't just end like this. Like I need to know how the story ends. So that's like a human desire where we want to see things through to fruition. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of times, even if it's not necessarily in our best interest or healthy for us, we'll stick around for something for, you know, the long haul, because we're trying to get the completion of said thing, you know? And I feel that more or less that's kind of like the leg that this Taurus person is using to stand on. It's like them feeling, you know, you're so invested, like there's no way you could walk away at this point, like as a justification of them not really being worried with you kind of, you know, acting funny or whatever the case. However, it's like they're more or less shooting themselves in the foot here with this hanged man, and they don't realize it because it's a false sense of confidence. And here's the thing. I am a Taurus, right? I am a double Taurus, all right? So I can tell you from experience that this is like one of our Achilles heels as Taurians is because, you know, the whole stereotype, Tauruses are stubborn, we don't like change, nah, right? But this is a mindset that's the byproduct of that stubbornness and not wanting to change, right? Because we can get stuck in an energy, right, and stop growing, right? And when something doesn't grow, it decays. You know what I'm saying? It starts to die, right? So I feel like this is a mindset that this Taurus person has had based on past experience for other people. And it's like they're applying it to you. But the only thing is that they don't know you that well. They think that they know you because that's kind of like their get out of jail free card or like their plan B. It's like, oh, they could pull back if they want, but they ain't really going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And I think your explanation for it, or most people's explanation for this would like, and that's why I'm like, this Taurus person is probably not that woke, because how I would see it with this card coming out, because there's lots of other cards that could have said this message, but the fact that the Seven of Pentacles is coming out, there's a karmic card for me. The truth of the matter is that there is like a karmic tie between the two of you. But I don't feel that this person has the capacity to understand that. So it's like they more or less are misinterpreting why it is that you connected with them in the first place and why it is that you did all that you did. And they're like kind of missing the boat on that. You know what I'm saying? And they're just thinking, oh, just because they're dope, you just invested. But it's more or less like you topping up or leveling up and sitting in your power. And with this hangman, it's almost like them, and I see this in two ways. Like I was saying, with them coming back with like some type of little offer or something like that with the Knight of Chalices, I'm seeing the same thing with the hanged man, but I feel like you're not gonna bite. It's like their thought is that when they approach you, it's gonna be the same way that it's always been, or you're gonna bend and fold the way that you always have. You feel what I'm saying? But this go around, I feel it's not going to go that way because, I mean, I don't really see anything saying that you blocked them. I don't necessarily feel like you blocked them, but you might legit just like straight up like ignore them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if they reached out to you, like pretending like you don't see the text or whatever the case. But in the event that you do, that's going to be like a change of behavior for them. And it's going to be like, okay, wait a minute now. Like, they never did this. Like when I text that, they be like, you know, responding. I know they're not responding to me, right? So then it's like they're going to feel like they need to take it up an octave. And the thing specifically that I'm seeing with the Magician, and I feel like this is your heads up. I don't know if I told y'all that's Aries energy. And with the hangman, I always say that that's Aquarius, Pisces, and Cancer energy just because one day I forgot. And I've just been doing it ever since. But anywho, I feel with the Magician here, they're going to try to commit to you. Legit. It's like I feel they're going to attempt to reach out, right? Like when they see, oh, okay, they're not coming back, then it's going to be like, you know, the whole, hey, big head, right? They're going to attempt that. And when you still don't respond, then it's like they're going to pull out the bigger guns, where it's like, oh, okay, so that's not working. It's like now they're going to start talking like, oh, you know, I want us to be exclusive and like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's legit what it is that I'm seeing. But mind you, the thing that I'm picking up on with this Taurus person, I can't tell you what or what not to do. I mean, if you want to be committed to them, totally cool. Not saying that you shouldn't, but it's just the fact that the place that it's coming from is a place of just like arrogance. You know what I'm saying? Because it feels to me almost like a cat and mouse, like a little objectification going on here. Almost like looking at you like property, like your mind type of deal. And I don't really feel that they're not like, with the hangman, there's an opportunity for them to see like, oh, like this person pulled back because I'm making the whole relationship about me and I'm not contributing anything to them. Like there's the opportunity for them to get that, but they're not getting that. It's just like, oh, so they're not responding to my text. They're not talking to me. So I'm gonna pull out the big guns. It's like, I know that they want me to say like, oh, we're exclusive. So it's like, I'm gonna do that. So it's like, the reasoning behind what they're doing isn't the purest intentions. That's the only thing I'm saying that's like the issue here. So the next cards that you guys have looking at the energy between the two of y'all, we have the Two of Pentacles. Oh, good Lord. Not this guy. We have the King of Swords in the reverse, sweet mother. And then we have the Chariot, which is Cancerian energy. So this is going to be a forewarning for you, cross watcher of Taurus. More or less, this is on both sides now. You guys are kind of weighing your options. I wouldn't necessarily say that you're done. I do feel like you still have a heart for this person. You still care about them. However, you've drawn a line in the sand to say, there's only so much that I can tolerate, and this I'm not going to tolerate. So it's like your attempt is to teach this person how to treat you, right? Now, with them, they're more or less weighing their options on how it is that they're going to approach you. Hence the reason why I was saying that, you know, they're going to try the hey, big head. All right. And then it's like, you know, some little sweet gesture. If that doesn't work, they're going to go full out like, I want to commit to you. Or if you guys are already in commitment, it's like, let's get married. You know what I'm saying? They're going to try to do some big elaborate gesture, but it's a need to know that it's like, and just being honest, it's a manipulation tactic. You know what I'm saying? Because it's them losing control in the situation and they're trying to do something to regain control of the situation. So that's why I said the energy that it's coming from, I'm not really like a fan of it. You know what I'm saying? And then with this King of Swords and the reverse, this dude in this deck is just something. My goodness. That still goes back to that manipulation that I was speaking about. Because the whole thing is here, it's a lot of objectification with this Taurian person. I can't unsee that. It's a lot of them looking at you as like, well, I mean, that is kind of Taurian, if I'm honest. We do be doing that. Because Tauruses, we do be possessive. You know what I'm saying? At least for a woke Taurus, we don't look at you like an object. You know, we know you're a human being with feelings and emotions and stuff. But it's like, that's just a very Taurian thing when it's like, that's my dude. That's my chick. Like, that's me. You know what I'm saying? But not going to the extreme of objectifying a person. But it's like, this is giving me very unwoke Taurus vibes because it's an ego thing. Like it's like a battle of the ego. That's really what it is. It's like, how dare you not talk to me? Like, I need to get you back under my control type of thing. Like, you're supposed to be checking for me, wondering where I'm at and wondering what I'm doing. You know, like, how dare you just go off and just live your best life and not worry about me? That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. So with this King of Swords in the reverse, it's like utilizing head games and manipulation tactics to try to get you back in the fold. But here's the thing. The thing that this is a forewarning for my cross watcher is you have to be cognizant of what got you in the situation in the first place. Like, we can't overlook that, right? Like, even though you were on your Empress vibes and all the things and, you know, on like being your best self type of deal, you did make a decision to get involved with a person who's quite literally self-centered, very self-focused, you know? And I feel in order for you to protect yourself from falling into the manipulation tactics that this person is going to attempt to use on you, you're going to have to be clear on what it is that reeled you in the first place. You feel what I'm saying? Because, and I'm going to use this as an example. It's like if you've been with a person for like 10 years living with them, right? And you've wanted this person to marry you for the last 10 years. And when you're like, okay, that's it, I'm done. This is my cutoff point. It's been 10 years. They've had enough time. And when this person, you know, orchestrates this whole elaborate, proposal. You know what I'm saying? Invites your family and friends out, gets on one knee and offers you a ring. It would be kind of hard to say no, right? There's some people, I've seen it happen, where people are just like, absolutely not, no. You know what I'm saying? But in a situation where you do really love and care about the person, but you're just not tolerating their behavior, if they did something like that, for a lot of people, it'd be really hard to, see mom and dad with the camera. You know what I'm saying? And, they live on, Facebook and Instagram and things, and you just like say no. You feel what I'm saying? So you have to be conscious and aware of that within yourself. But again, like I said, it's manipulation. But what's motivating this manipulation is this person is only looking out for their own best interest. Like, they're not really thinking about how it affects you, but you need to be aware why it is that you got into a situation or were attracted to someone who does not, that's self-centered like this. Let's just say it like that. But anywho, so with the last card you guys have, the Chariot, this is my sneaking out the back door card, because this is the thing that I feel how this could ultimately play out, right? Is if you did fall for the manipulation, right? Like whatever the gesture is, if you fell for it, I feel like they would immediately just kind of discard you after that. You know what I'm saying? It's like either they would immediately go back to their old behavior, or if, depending on the type of situation y'all had, if y'all were just like sleeping together, they would sleep with you and be gone by the time you get up. And it would be all under the guise of you thinking that this is a reconciliation. Like, how this person would orchestrate this would be as if it's a reconciliation. Everything's going back to normal. They realize where they jacked up. You know what I'm saying? And they want to move forward. But it's like a game they're playing with themselves, dude. Like, it's literally you walking away from them puts you in a position of power, and it's almost like they're seeing it as if you rob them of power because nobody walks away from them type of deal. So, and this is so childish, just to be honest, but it's like how they get their power back from you, right, is by getting you back under their good graces. You feel what I'm saying? And, you opening up to them, smashing them, and they're going to creep out the back door. So all of this is under the guise and under the illusion that you two are going to move forward together. And that's not at all their intention. It's like they just need to get their ego stroked on some stuff, right? And then at the, what is going on with my throat chakra, child? And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Wands. So, dude, legit, that's the whole thing. It's like the communication that they have with you, and this came up for someone else too. There's always two things I see with that card. It's like the two of you are, oh God, my guys just said this. My guy, okay, I'll go with it. My guys just said, I was about to say that the two of you are, like mismatched, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never see the two of you together type of deal. You're two different types of people in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But my guide specifically said unequally yoked. That's what my guide said. They said that the two of you are unequally yoked, child. I heard that clear. I was like, oh, I wasn't going to go there with it. I was talking more superficial, like, one tall, one short, one skinny, one fat. That's where I was going with it. But okay. But they said literally you guys are unequally yoked. Child, and that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother animal, baby. Okay. Unequally yoked, child. Look, that's a lot going on. But anyway, and I feel with this, the only connection you guys really have, which I feel is what kind of keeps you stuck here, it's a sexual thing. It's a chemistry thing. It's a vibey kind of thing. But as far as like what this person contributes to your life, not so much. You know what I'm saying? Not really so much. It's like it's the passion. Every time, like with every sign I've done before you guys, I've seen that it's a passion, it's a chemistry type of thing. But at the root of it all, you and this person are unequally yoked. Y'all are not on one accord. And because of that, it wouldn't move forward anyway, because I feel like you guys are wanting something that can grow into something, and someone who's going to honor you for who you are. But in this type of connection, it's more or less you're competing with the other person. You know what I'm saying? Because they already feel like they're the head honcho, you know, end all be all type of deal. But anyway, let me go ahead and pick an oracle here. All right. Oh, child. Oh my goodness. Release. It says, work with Archangel Michael to let go of what no longer serves you or your purpose. Child, I don't need to say nothing else. That's been your Cross Watchers Only reading. Cross Watcher about Taurus. Let me know what you think in the comments. I love your face, and I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends.